So today I'm going to talk a little bit about this large scale project. Basically I'm going from this piece here, which is about 8 inches tall, to this piece here that is about 5 feet tall. The original piece was done in Super Sculpt. Then I took a silicone mold of that and then I cast it in resin. The first thing I had to do was get a high quality scan of the original sculpture. I spent a little bit of time researching 3D scanners to figure out if this was something that I could do on my own, but came to the conclusion that basically the time and money that I would have to spend on it just wasn't worth it. So I farmed it out to this company called ScanSight. The scanner they use is a white light scanner. The sculpture is placed on a table, and then the scanner collects data points by projecting a grid of lights on top. This piece was scanned about 18 different times in different positions. Each scan collects about 5 million points of data. Then all of the scans are consolidated and one final rendering is created. So the scan costs about $200, but I ran this piece through with 4 other pieces, so if you do them in bulk, you definitely get a price break. A large part of what you're paying for is the initial setup. So while one piece might cost you $500, if you run 5 of the pieces through, they might cost you $200 each. The next step is to take the scan to the foam carving company. You tell them how large you want the piece, and they plug those numbers into a computer that runs a super large 5-axis milling machine. These foam milling guys work in a lot of different industries. A lot of times they're enlarging small-scale sculptures that will eventually become life-size bronze statues. With this process, they'll enlarge the piece out of foam, and then a sculptor will go on top of that with an oil clay and work in all the detail. Then they'll take that to the foundry, they'll take a mold of that, pour it in wax, and end up casting it in bronze. They also work in the entertainment industry doing sets and large-scale props, and with museums and theme parks doing large-scale dinosaurs and clown heads. The coolest thing about this process is you can get super large pieces that are very lightweight. A lot of the times these pieces will just be finished with a super hard shell that's just sprayed on. So very easy to paint and finish and very durable. There's several different foams that you can get your piece milled out of. This is the white bead foam. This is the foam that you see all over the place. It is just compressed beads. This is a 2-pound right here. This right here is a 3-pound. It's a little bit denser, but you can see that it's still the same compressed beads. The benefit of this foam is that it's the cheapest. It is about $5 per cubic foot. It's also the most lightweight, which is kind of nice. The downside of this foam, it doesn't really carve that well. If you've ever played around with bead foam, you know, you're really just getting all these little loose beads. So it's hard to get any nice detail if you need to go in there and carve on your piece. Another disadvantage of this foam for what I'm doing, I use this Magic Sculpt on top of the piece, which is a hard epoxy. It doesn't really stick to this surface because it's very smooth, so the Magic Sculpt just kind of peels off. This next foam is a blue EPS foam. The EPS stands for expanded polystyrene. This is the foam that I get all of my pieces done in. It is a little bit more expensive than the white bead foam. This is about $5 per cubic foot. There's a couple reasons why I prefer this foam. This is a 2-pound density. I mean, it's basically just a block of foam that has chemically expanded and formed like one solid piece. So it is very easy to come in here and cut. Come in here and file. This big rasp. It's one of the main tools that I use when shaping the foam. So it's very easy to carve the foam and get the exact shape that you want. This material, It's a closed cell structure here. So it creates this kind of texture so the Magic Sculpt will stick to it. It is a little bit heavier than the white foam, but it's still pretty lightweight. So the third foam that most places have is this stuff right here. This is super dense. You could carve into it and get really nice detail. You see this stuff used a lot in the product design industry and the automotive industry, mainly because of the crazy detail you can get. This is a lot more expensive than the other two foams. This is about $35 per cubic foot. One thing I don't like about this is that if you file or sand it, it creates this super fine dust that is impossible to get rid of, and it's super itchy. I got some in my eye once and I had to use an eye wash about 20 times to get it out. I took a shower about 30 minutes ago, and after this video I will go take another one just because I'm touching this stuff. So I had two pieces made with the EPS foam. The one on the left is 5 feet, the one on the right is 4 feet. The 5-foot piece cost me $1,500. The 4-foot guy, I think about $800. If you look, it picked up quite a bit of the detail, but not all of it. I could have paid more money and had him go back on it with another pass and really get in and flush out the exact detail. I don't need to do that because I'm covering this with a Magic Sculpt. So really I told him that I just need the basic shape. So it's less work for him. Saved me a little money in the long run. So in the next video I will be going over applying the Magic Sculpt on top, sculpting in the texture, and then primering the piece, and then finishing it with a variety of different paints.
Don't panic, don't jump me, don't stop the just rap. Don't panic, don't jump me, don't stop the just rap. Don't panic, don't jump me, don't stop the